Hello, I'm Qualification, and welcome to part 5 of the Factorio Let's Play. As you can see, there's been a number of changes in the base. Probably the most obvious one is just like the utterly massive amount of solar farms that I've added. If you look at our power grid, you can see we now have 440 solar panels, which can theoretically produce, I think, like 26 megawatts of power. In addition, we have a accumulated capacity of 1.1 gigajoules, which is an enormous quantity of energy that we have stored up, just because of the size of that accumulator farm down there. Now, what I've also done is started up science again. Right now we're researching flight as a prerequisite for robotics. But in order to build robots, you actually need electric engine units. And if you want electric engine units, you have to have lubricant. Lubricant gets fed into a assembling machine, and then you can build electric engine units. So it's a fairly complex process. You can see here I've added some of these turns so that I can get in and out of the base easier. I've also created an expansion. So we're going to go over to the expansion now, actually, and we're just going to check that out. You can see the power lines along here have lamps. So there's a large oil deposit. We're going to be adding pump jacks to those just momentarily. And what we have here is just a stone mine that's feeding into a steel chest, and it's almost full, actually. So I'm going to have to... well, I think what I'll do, actually, is create another chest for it to feed into, and that way it can just, you know, continue producing. I don't really feel like bringing that much stone back to base, and I don't want the production here to shut down altogether, so... In fact, it would work better if we set it up on the left side, so let's do that. As far as tech goes, I've researched a fair bit. We now have some of the stuff we need for like personal armor upgrades and stuff. Like we have an energy shield now. The portable solar panels, you insert these into your modular armor, which is this, and you can see I've got 4 energy shields, and then I'm filling it up with solar panels as well, just because we don't have anything better to put in there right now. And energy shields simply protect you from damage, and they recharge, so it's like another health bar, but you can extend it extremely far. Like right now we have 4 of those. That's a very large level of protection. And the modular armor, you can use this to turn yourself into kind of like a mobile factory management tool rather than just like the avatar for, you know, yourself in this game. And I don't really feel like doing that because that's kind of like not my playstyle. You can see we took some damage there from the train contacting us, so we should have some pump jacks. Let's start producing crude here, and we're gonna bottle the crude up in into barrels. Alright, one more of these should do it. Let's grab one more pump jack facility, and then the means by which we actually turn them into barrels is the assembling machines. Assembling machines, if you tell them to produce particular goods, like a crude oil barrel, you can see it's going to require an empty barrel and crude, and to get crude in there you have to have a pump or a pipeline, obviously, so they turn themselves into that whenever there's any sort of liquid or fluid required. Let's just make a few steel barrels, and we'll have this actually make steel barrels for us. Just throw in some of that. Obviously we're going to need power throughout this whole area. And let's hook it up to the grid. Alright, so now it's producing. And these have pretty good yields. Only thing is obviously that they are going to eventually run out. Let's go ahead and use some pipeline to connect all this. And there's that. And we gotta hook these up now. Let's grab a little bit more of those. Do that one just like so. Alright. So now this is getting all the crude it needs. The only thing it needs now is these barrels. So I'm actually going to move this to the closer area here, and we're going to throw an inserter down to move those barrels there. So where do we have it at? Empty barrels, give it some steel. And now what you'll see is this produces filled crude oil barrels, which if you create empty crude oil barrels, what they'll do is turn this into crude again at whatever location you're gonna send them out to. So let's just go ahead and grab these, stick them in a box for now, as is the norm really. And we'll just load up these barrels that we had on us as well. And what we can do with these barrels is bring them to an oil refinery elsewhere. And obviously you would like to have this on a train system so that it could just drive them there for you. But we don't have that set up yet. We'd need another tech for it. We would need to research signals, automated rail transportation, and we don't have that yet. So we'll just grab up a few of these barrels and we're going to head down because we're going to set up an oil processing facility in our main base because we are going to need lubricant for those electric engines, and I missed my turn. So let's flip ourselves around again. We got more sulfur here. Is it? Yeah, it's enough to bother with, so I'll grab it. There we go. Move down here again. And I think we're just going to cannibalize from that over there, the old oil facilities, because they are no longer that fruitful. We'll leave one of them intact so we can continue to get sulfur, but the others, hasta la vista. We're out of copper here apparently, and almost out of iron. We'll load both these up. And how about here? Still need iron as well. Let's now repurpose this stuff to create an oil area. Actually, I don't know, we'll put it down here, I think. So let's get some power going along this area here. Alright, now we want to have some chests. And we need these things right here. Okay, and we're going to need pipeline as well. I don't know which side this is going to be. We're going to want to do empty crude oil barrels here. That'll give us a barrel again, and then the oil again. So, oh, okay, we now have flight. Let's get construction or logistics. So we want logistics robots because those are the ones that are going to move stuff around for us. What you can do with this is create the logistics system, which will give you active provider chests and requester chests. And with those, you can basically tell robots to send stuff places and they'll do it. Now then, we want an oil refinery, so let's go up to our old base and grab that. And I guess we can create a couple of chemical plants while we're walking. So these things, let's take all the ones from the left side, I think. Just extract all of this stuff here. And there's that. So this will still send petroleum gas over to the sulfur area, but all this other nonsense is forfeit. So let's grab more of this. This heavy oil can continue on its journey up to this thing, that's fine. Are we missing something else here? I think we're good, actually. We are going to need to connect these now, though. So let's grab some of that pipeline. There. So that's all hooked up still. This is good to go. A lot less pump jacks, so a lot less oil production, and therefore sulfur is going to slow down to a crawl, but we should have a lot in stock. Got 600 in stock. Should be enough to create plenty of batteries. So we have all the stuff we need for processing all this oil now. Just walk down over to the area here. And I think I would like to actually have the facilities more downward than upward, and we need to put some of this on our taskbar. Alright, so that's going to produce those. We're going to want to put the barrels into a box. So let's go ahead and grab that steel chest I created earlier. Put this rail into our inventory for now. And what else can we put in there? Put the fuel in there. That should be enough for now. Okay, so this is going to produce the correct oil for us once we place these barrels in there anyways. So it's going to put them in there. It's going to generate crude for this thing to turn into these 3 products, and then from there it gets used in other things. So how do we want to do this? We need lubricant. Lubricant's from heavy oil. So let's go ahead and set up a chain over here, throw down a chemical plant right here. And where's our pipeline at? Like so. We want to create lubricant, and that's a very simple process. It just requires heavy oil. And then we want to feed this into another assembling machine, which is going to create electric engines. You can see here, requires lubricant, so we're going to need engine units and electronic circuits. We can create engine units pretty simply. Gonna want a couple more of these though, really. And we're almost out of iron, so let's go fill up some of that. And let's grab steel. And a little bit of copper as well. Once you get your logistics robots hooked up, you can have them deliver goods directly to your person as well as to chests and things. So that'll allow us to do that in the future. We want to hook these up together, and we're going to want to do our assembling machine for it, probably just right here. So we're going to want to tell it to create electric engine units, flip this, and there we go. It has the lubricant it needs. Now it just needs engines and circuits. So we can create both of those down here. This one will create circuits, and this one will create engines. Now for engines we need 3 products: pipes, gears, and steel plate. So steel plate is just going to be fed out of a box down here. And the others will be fed from assembling machines, which will create them, which are going to be fed from boxes themselves. And you know, in the future, what you could do, like theoretically, if we had a logistics system set up, what we could do is, instead of having to manually go down here and fill up these, like even this oil thing here, instead of having to manually go down here and fill up that chest with crude barrels, what we could do is tell the robots, this is an active requester, it's going to need, like, we always want to have 30 barrels of crude in there, no matter what. So that is gonna, the robots are gonna go from a chest which is providing crude oil barrels, and they will immediately fly to fill this chest with those items anytime it's below that amount. So it would make managing this production facility a lot simpler, basically. These power lines are kind of inconvenient. I think I might just do this though. There. And we can fill in like so and like so, and in the middle we're going to stick another inserter from a chest. So we do that, and where is our inserters at? And do that. Let's this. Now one of you is producing cogs, the other one is producing, what was it? Pipe. So both of those just require metal. This is a logistics thing. Right? This is, yeah, just metal. So then we have this fed from a couple of boxes. We'll just put them next to each other. That are full of those materials, and suddenly we have electric engine production. We want iron and iron. Did I flip those? Yes, I did. And it's just a habit of mine to accidentally delete those things instead of rotate them, but you can just rotate them, of course. And we want here to be steel, so there. Now we can do that. What else does this require? Engine units, lubricants, right, electronic circuits. So let's create some electronic circuits here. Requires iron plate and copper cable, so we're going to need one more assembling machine to handle the cable for us, which means we need more iron, of course. And once we have that, we'll be ready for the big show. As in, we will have automatic production of electric engine units. Okay, we want to have that fed in there, and the other one's just iron plates, so this should work out nicely. Alright, just barely have enough room in this kind of convoluted setup for it, so let's grab this. And once we do finish all this automation process, I think I will probably turn these into requester and provider chests, but this needs iron plates in here, so stick those there. This is going to create copper cable, and we need a chest for that, of course. Didn't I just have another one? Apparently I used all my chests, so do that, and there we go. Now we have automated electric engine production. Oh, actually, I forgot to hook up the final outputs to the main thing. Is this not getting everything it needs? It has copper cables. That's why. I wondered about that. Sometimes I just flip these things by accident. There is one gap, though. We are not able to continuously produce lubricant. Why is this steel chest over here? What was I going to do with that? Apparently I was going to do that over there with it, but I ended up not doing it. So yeah, this thing can't produce any more lubricant because these other materials are not being used for anything. And what we're going to do with the excess petroleum and light oil, unfortunately we don't have light oil cracking uncovered yet. That is an advanced oil processing thing. But one thing you can do is just turn that into fuel right now. I don't think there are any reactions we can do with light oil yet which don't turn it into fuel. Let's just check. Yeah, these are all... Okay, so we're just going to have to do light oil into solid fuel right now, which we already have an enormous amount of that. And the other one, petroleum, is a far more valuable resource. So what do we want to do with petroleum? Let me just throw down another chemical plant here. There's a lot of stuff we could do with it. We could create sulfur, we could create plastic, we can try and create, well, solid fuel again, but let's see. Our old sulfur production is still running. Plastic we don't actually have at the moment, so let's create plastic. Do we have a nearby coal deposit? If not, I want to flip this. Yeah, we don't, so we're going to want to flip this. And we're going to have to create a lot of pipe for that. I don't really care if it's going to obstruct movement because I won't come here too often. The only thing I would come here to do is fill up these chests. But that supply we gave it should last it a long time. Right. Let's grab some pipe to grounds though, because it's inevitable that we're going to run into obstacles between here and our destination. this should be good. I'm thinking we route this down around, basically. Just go past it. And we can just feed this into a chemical plant here and create plastic that way. Okay, now let's grab a couple of inserters and let's go ahead and we'll put it into a box for now. I'm a big fan of boxes. Oftentimes you could set up, theoretically, you could set up a large production chain where everything's on conveyor belts, but I find that to be unwieldy in most circumstances. So there we go, we got plastic production, which we have not had for a while. Oh, we do need to put an output on this solid fuel, though. That is one thing we're going to have to do. So let's go ahead and throw down a steel chest down here. And where's that? Where's our... Apparently we are out of fast inserters yet again. Let's just queue up a bunch of these. And of course that's the case, so why don't we just move this to the side. There. Now we have continuous electric engine production. So let's grab some of these and fabricate a flying robot frame. Let's actually just make a few of these. And once we get logistics robotics finished, we can build roboports, and then roboports will generate and be the home base of our logistics robots. And we're going to want to create a central logistics network, probably right around here. I've already kind of got that going with all these boxes. Apparently I had a bunch of pipes taped up in there anyways. Let's grab the other pump jacks and tap that new deposit. Do we have steel on us for that? Yes, yes. Alright, I'm just going to want to queue up a few of these then. Apparently these things take a really long time to make by hand. But what we can do is, so since the last video, I think I've already mentioned this, but I have destroyed a very large number of aliens. And if you look at the map, you can see here, here's our main base, right here's the expansion base, and this is the colony expansion down here. There used to be a large alien cluster here. There used to be large alien clusters all through this region, but I killed all of them except for this one. And the thing is, they do regenerate over time. They aren't dead forever once you've destroyed them once. So that's important to remember. We, however, do have our radars down here that are actively scanning all the time. And they will scan to check and see if aliens have popped up, or they're used to not being aliens. So there's that to consider. Now, while we're here, what we're going to do is tap this oil deposit, I think. So, yeah. And then obviously, this is just fed into these boxes here. We have just ridiculous quantity of stone there. How fast is this smelt? That's just really fast. Okay. So let's drive our train a little bit farther, and we're going to want to throw down track to basically allow us to turn up here. Actually, we could just feed the pipeline south to be within our range rather than do it all up there, which sounds more convenient to me, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we just need to extend that power slightly. Let's grab the pipeline that we've been creating, theoretically, which we apparently did not really create at all. Well, what we can do at least is set up this thing. So we want to move this south. Let's queue up a bit more pipeline as well. I want to move this south towards the actual rail. Alright. We want two of these. One for the production of steel barrels, and the other one for the production of the filled barrels. So give this some steel, tell this to make the barrels, tell this to make filled barrels, and then we just route the pipeline through here. We're going to need a lot more pipeline. Actually, we have 4 of these, so we should theoretically be able to move us most of the distance. Alright, we're still going to need more pipeline though. Okay, we'll start connecting all this stuff. We aren't going to have to walk through here for any real reason, so no need to plan for movement. One short, of course. There we go. Now we have another crude production line set up. And that's just going to create lots of barrels for us, so that's good. And let's go and grab the spoils out of our other barrel production facility. It's probably full by now, actually. Let's just check. Well, what are we missing? Steel? Yeah. Alright, we're going to want to go ahead and set up a little bit more permanent steel thing here by giving it a chest to draw from. Did I tell it to do that? Yes, I did, for some reason. And we want to move this down one. Just throw in a couple of steel. There we go. Now this should work for a really long time. Grab these. Of course, you can only have 8 per one of these, so that's the limitation of the barrel strategy of moving oil around. Want to slow down as much as we can here. Okay. Let's go feed in these barrels to the barrel box. I don't know if we filled up these chests yet. No, not even close. There we go. And let's put these in there. We might actually just set up another one of these boxes because I feel like that's going to get filled up pretty quickly. And we should see plastic. Yeah, we see plastic. We see electric engine. Good. And what are we missing from this to be able to create fast? Electronic circuits is what we need. And man, those things are really just killing my frame rate. Normally, if you play this game, you will not experience any frame rate issues. It's just if you have a lot of things like being calculated at once, that'll slow you down, especially if you're recording. So this needs more of those. And those are out of production because we're out of metal. Seems to be a common theme. However, what's our copper at? 192, we can fill that up a little bit more. So inserters, they're the thing that has been the slowdown. It's really, really easy to make track, so that's never a problem when you get Science Pack 2s. Where did I put all these on there? Alright. And once we do have green science going at a decent rate, we can finish off logistics robots, and then we'll be able to start making big moves on the base soon. Now I'm a little bit worried about these sorts of bases down here. They have little squares around them. They're like pointy. And I don't know if those are defenses or aliens. I hope they're not defenses, because defenses are really annoying. The big worms, for instance, they're just hard to deal with. I might put down another radar station in our expansion just to give us some vision on that area on the map. We'll see. So you can see like these two areas down here always have vision because the radars are stationed here. I think I will do that though. We need more materials for ourselves though. Alright, and let's grab the steel out of here. Grab some more copper from the copper box. Okay. These are out of production. Not that we really need them right now. Plenty of red sciences. And why is this stopped? 28 there and 28 there. Not very much here then. We need metal. Is that the only thing we need? I think so. So we have a pretty good little base here. The main thing about it that's problematic is that our resources are still limited. Oh my, our copper production is almost stopped over there, it looks like. And we've mined dry the top row here. So that is still an issue that we have to deal with, obviously. Let's repair this as well. And the only solution to that is go and build more bases. Which is not necessarily ideal. But, you know, that's the game, I guess. And we do have a lot of room for expansion. Like, this down here is a humongous deposit of iron, much larger than the one that was near this base. The only problem with that is that we're going to have to then route the iron into another production facility. It might be worth it to deal with trains in that situation. And I've just been running all iron smelting off of stockpiles of solid fuel that have come from the old base. And so, you know, it's theoretically viable eternally. Just because of how efficient that is. Are we good on all this? I think so. Collect those. And I guess since we're standing around, let's make some flying robot frames. If we want to, we can go and collect these and then speed that up. Alright, logistics robots are researched. So, we need a couple of things. We need our character logistics slots for one, but we also need, the most important thing we need right now is the logistics system. But what this technology here provides us with is the RoboPort, which is the home for all these robots. It provides us with passive provider chests, which passive provider chest is something that will give to the system, and logistic robots, which, you know, are the things that fly around and do all this. Now what we'll get next time is the active provider chest and the requester chest, which are what we really want ultimately. So let's go ahead and start researching character logistics slot, probably. Yeah. And all we need to do then to make these robots is throw down a RoboPort, which is here. We are probably just low on yeah, advanced circuits. That's the only thing that really requires. We have all these flying robot frames. We can create some logistic robots with them. So let's do that. Oh, we are under attack up there at the old base. It's kind of little consequences to us, but let's go and deal with that. And I guess we can also take this opportunity to test out our new shield and the piercing rounds strategy. Got to drive carefully around that. That's the important part of our base, is the oops. And everything should still be powered that needs power. Where are they? What was that? Something shot a fireball at them. I don't know. Something happened here. This is inconsequential though, so it doesn't matter to us at all. Might just reclaim these things for use later on. This is almost out of oil. How much do we have in here? 2,000 of the fuel, of course. I would like to actually bring this with us. What I might do is load that up in the actual trunk of our car and just drive it down to the real base. Gonna build a couple more of these. Cancel that for now. Where's that? So I'll take the uninjured ones of these. And let's make some of these. There. we're just gonna have to drive over there and manually fill up the box. So your trunk can store a lot of stuff in it. It's got a huge volume of space. Apparently we hit something else, so we need to repair our car again. Don't know what it is we smashed into. It must have been like a plant or a bush or something. Just do this a couple of times. Obviously don't have much room in our inventory at the moment. Now what's interesting is to note where we're getting attacked from. You know, because the pollution theoretically should not be attached to any of these alien bases, which means either there's a new alien base somewhere in like this region, or we have just killed enough of the bastards to be able to kind of incite them against us, regardless of the number of the pollution. I guess what we'll do is we'll go and find out manually. So let's go investigate over here. Oh, yeah, we got a new base. That's what it is. And it's got a humongous level of defense as well. Look at these small worm, medium worm, we got a big worm. So definitely have an issue there. And I just feel like the personal combat situation just isn't effective or reliable in any sense. You have to do it with laser turrets, I feel, or at least the larger bases you have to do with laser turrets. Because you get swarmed and you're unable to move, you're unable to effectively kill them at all. Let's collect the sulfur. Whew. Some close turns. Okay. And that is a wall. And I've just destroyed my car. Oh dear. Well, all that fuel is gone. Okay. Luckily we have actual engine automation going right now, although it's being fed into electric engines. So what we're going to do momentarily at least is cease the production of electric engines. We can keep that up, I guess. We just want to make some regular engines here. We wanted 8 of them for a car. And while we're standing around waiting, we can continue to create some logistic robots. We're almost out of advanced circuits. That's unfortunate. We should go grab more of these from our production facility up here. We're also out of these because we're somehow managed to run ourselves out of track. Let's go ahead and create some of that then. Oh. What are we low on? Okay, copper. We have plenty of plastic there, and metal is decent. Let's throw in a bit more. Actually, we're out of metal, so we need to get more for ourselves. We have a lot of junk on us right now. I'm going to go over to the junk chest and drop some of it off. Let's throw the solar panels, the underground belts, the lab, accumulator. I think we'll keep the rest of that. And I'll throw in the walls. Blue science, add that regular magazines. More wood, okay. And we need to carry tracks, so let's grab some. We already burned through that entire supply of metal I gave it. There's 15 more. An amazing speed on these transporter belts, get 100 that quickly. We're almost out of inserters as well. We should go grab more of those. And then once we top off the inserters, we'll start working on the logistics robot stuff. let's give these there. Alright, so we want our Roboport to cover this red area here is the range of the Roboport, what kind of chests coverage it has. Now, where do we want to place this? Probably right around here, I would think. Alright, so we can then place in the robots. We want to go ahead and do that, I think. Let's see. Go ahead and power this up as well. Alright, now if we create any level of chest, so this is going to drain power in order to... It's kind of like the accumulators in that sense. We will be able to do this. Do we have any chests that we made? I don't think we did. Let's make some passive providers then. And what a character logistics slot does is turns us into like a requester, basically. So then these are going to be providers. Two objects are missing construction robots. What are you talking about, game? Ah, it's probably referring to the buildings that were damaged. There's more over there, but that's outside the range of the Roboport. So yeah, let's just cancel that notification. Alright, now in these chests, what we can do is just throw down basic materials. So let's do that. Let's grab all the copper we can and throw that into this chest. And we'll go and grab all the iron we can and throw it into the other chest, and so on. And then, if we make requests at requester chests or from our person, the robots will go to these chests, pick up these materials, and so long as we're within their range, they'll deliver them. So what else do we need? We need steel. Let's grab a little bit for that of ourselves. Put the stones in here. Sulfur is something we still want to manually feed, probably. We have 1,000 batteries now. That's pretty good. And for instance, what we'll want to do is have a requester chest set up here and here for iron and copper. Well, we can use one chest today. You know, there's no need to set up two different chests. Normally I do that just because when you're manually feeding, it's easier to see what belongs where. So this is lacking greens, but we have green production underway. That's good. So what can we do other than build more robots right now? Probably not a whole lot. Let's just create as many of these as we can. You know, we might set up an assembly building for this, actually. We'll finish off one of these robot frames, and then we'll do an assembly building, just because of how slow it is to manually craft them. It'd be faster to manually feed in the resources and then have a factory make it for us. Okay, do that there, and we want to create flying robot frames, which are an immediate product, so... Alright, let's give it some of these. No, we don't need that. We need these, we need these, we need these, and we need that. And why don't we also create a couple of those speed modules. Not really concerned about power consumption. I mean, we do have just utterly ridiculous levels of stored energy as well as actual just production. We might need to expand our iron mines a little bit, kind of running low on that. And we'll see here. Let's go grab some more of those electric engines. Actually, didn't I? Yes, I did turn off that production. So let's grab 4 engine. We need 3 more engine units to be able to create another car. We'll just momentarily give the speed units to this thing once it does finish production. there. So you can see it's just dramatically faster without the, or with the speed. You can see without and then with. It's just major difference. And we need, what, 2 more? We can build another car. So we lost just a ridiculous amount of fuel when that exploded, but fuel is hardly a scarce resource. Why is this not smelting? Just the iron not making it that far enough? Yeah, it's because the production has actually amped up down here since we grabbed all the iron out of here. Let's grab that. Don't need that much of that. So we're just waiting on engine units. There we go. And now we can throw ahead and throw that back on, take the speed modules out, and this will resume production of electric engines, which we came down here to collect in the first place. Throw these electric engine units into our robot frame factory, as well as the speeds. Okay. You can see the game slowing down whenever we have to tap into our accumulators for whatever reason. Presumably just because of the radars eating all of our energy at night. I don't know, that's actually a humongous drain on our power right now. Usually does not go that low. And here comes solar, the green line here, supplanting the accumulator, which is the orange line. Blue line is the steam, which just has a constant level of production. So what is it that's consuming all the power? I guess it's the radars. I don't know why it costs so much to run, though. It's a bit odd. Alright, so we have flying robot frames there. Let's create another factory along with a couple more speed modules. We're going to use the frames in the construction of actual robots. I think the only thing the robots need in addition to the frame is a circuit. So let's just check that real quick. Yeah, advanced circuits. Okay, feed like that, and we will do this here, and set this up like so. Just give it these, keep 25 for ourselves, and feed in all the frames we do have. So that's a quick process to create those. And we're just going to put all of them into this building here. So once we do finish our character logistics, just very close to it right now, waiting on green sciences, we're out of inserters yet again. Let's just take the metal from there and place it. Oh, that is the metal we want. Why is this not producing then? We're out of copper. We want to give this a little bit of metal, but not very much. Not too much, rather. And these things don't have the metal that they need. In the past, this is not a copper deposit, but a metal deposit. There we go. That's at the heart of our problem. It'll be so nice once we have logistics robots to handle all this research stuff. See, they can just move they can manually move all these resources around, going and collecting them and placing them where they need. So we want to put the inserters here. I just really want that character logistics done, and then once we finish that, we're going to want to get started on our blue science pack production probably. And what we'll need, we already have all the parts for that. You know, we have that automated more or less. The only thing we're going to need to add is smart inserters, and smart inserters require circuits, I believe, is the only thing. Circuits plus fast is that. Yeah, so the only difference between regular and fast is, again, circuits. So we're going to want to create more of the circuit production, basically. Are we again, we're already out of those. Alright, we'll go collect more. burns through that iron. Apparently I didn't deposit anything in this chest. We're so close. These reactions should actually finish the... you can see I've got speed modules in there. Just to kind of carry us along slightly faster, even though we don't have the research faster technology unlocked yet. How are we doing on electric engines? Okay, what are we missing? Probably steel. Alright, so we have a character logistics slot. We can now order items from our provider chests, which means that the robots will go and collect them for us. This is something I'm kind of interested in, but I don't really want to deal with that right now. We're going to instead get the logistics. Yeah, we can't do any of that yet because we don't have blues. Well, then we might create the construction robotics technology. This will give us access to storage chests. Yeah. So now we have this logistics thing here. What we can do is tell the robots, I always want to have on me, say 256 iron. Just 200 iron. Okay, so they're gonna, you can see them there. They're coming to me and carrying iron. They can only carry a single piece right now, so this isn't the most efficient way to do it, really. But once we upgrade them, they're going to be allowed to carry more, and so that'll be good. You can see they just go and they pick up this and they throw it into my inventory, and then suddenly I have all this material. Obviously it works better with the more robots you have, so that's something you want to kind of make sure you're producing lots of. Let's, what do we need here? Frames, of course. But we can collect those, so let's do it. Put more robots in, that'll amp up the electricity requirement because they go and they charge and then they come out again to do their job when they're needed. We want to also probably always have 200 steel on us and 200 copper, and that'll be good probably. Let's go over to our main storage area here. I'm not sure if they'll actually go into the green area. I don't think so. Yeah, it looks like they will not travel that far yet. We could set up another roboport that'll extend their range, but what do we want out of here? Probably grab all the iron, and we're going to grab fuel too. And we will go and place these into a chest. There, and apparently I have the correct amount of resources. So what else do we want always to have? We always want a certain number of inserters, probably like 10 inserters and say 64 of this, if we can get it up there. Let's say 60 of it then. And they aren't going to go fetch those because they don't have any provider chests that have those resources in them. But what we can do then is just go and place this into a provider chest, and then suddenly I already have enough, so it's not going to do it, but if we do that, then they'll come out and they will say, oh, we're going to give you all the materials you wanted. So that's good. Keep throwing logistic robots into the roboport here. Now, what we will want to do is basically turn the chests down there, like iron, copper, etc., into these chests. So I'm just going to move some of those. Do that there. And where's that? There's this one here. And you can see just the logic of the game updating there, slowing it down a little bit. And you can see also the logistics system on the right side of the screen there. You can see what currently is stored in the logistics system. We have all those materials in there, which means that if we request within that range, they'll always come to provide it, and as long as we're in the range of the actual roboports. We're going to want to finish off this research here, which means more inserters. What it might do then is turn this into a passive provider that will always produce inserters. The inserters will go into this network, and then the network will say, oh, he doesn't have inserters on him, so it'll go and track him down. And then we want to put metal in there. What's really convenient is when you can actually do requester chests. For that, we're going to need blue science, though. So setting up those factories, let's start doing that. And I think I'll end this video whenever we get blue science kind of automated. Oops. Alright, let's go and give this there. Give this to there. And there's the little robots coming to give me copper, apparently, because I got low on copper. And you can upgrade, like right now we can only tell the robots we need to request 5 items, but you can upgrade this to go all the way down, basically. You can have a lot of character logistics slots, and that's just done through research. And we've got 4 in here. We need to probably put these inside of a chest, because our production is really just slowed down by the fact that it's not being collected fast enough. You can see how quickly we create these robots. Throw 16 more in there. You can have a lot of robots in our single roboport. You can mix between logistics, construction, combat. We haven't done anything with combat robotics. I've never used combat robotics before. I'm not really familiar with whether or not they'd be effective. Assuming they can fire lasers, I would think they'd be highly effective. Alright, so now we're going to go up here. We're going to start a production chain for smart inserters, which itself requires fast inserters. So what do we want to do? We want to get these and these ultimately. So do it like that, because this is going to require regular inserters, iron, and electronic circuits. So let's just throw down a chest, like so. This is going to be full of iron. And we're going to need electronic circuits. Do that. All that electronic circuits require is iron and cable. I think, yeah, just cable and iron. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. So we can feed from the same box here. And ultimately what we'd like to do is turn this into a requester chest. You can see them bringing me inserters. And what else do we want? We want to do cable. So cable is going to come from here. And that simply requires copper. Face that one the wrong way. So let's move that like so. Alright, so now we can produce circuits. Circuits are automated. Now, I'm not sure whether... What we can probably do is use one circuit creation machine to power 2 of these factories, because I don't think it's going to consume enough to be a problem in that sense. And by the way, right now, these little robots, they can only carry 1 item each, which is why it's very slow for them to fill us up. But you can upgrade the number they carry to, I believe 4 is the cap. So let's do that, and we're just going to flip it like that. And where's the other fast inserters? Let's go ahead this, and this is going to produce regular inserters for us, which require iron, gear wheels, and circuits. So the only thing we need to add to the chain now is gear wheels, which are going to come from an assembly machine right here. And that will automate the production of fast inserters for us. And once we have fast inserters automated, we then have all the components we need for the automation of... Why are you not producing anymore? You're lacking circuits. Circuits are lacking iron, copper probably. We will have all we need to be able to automate blue science, because we have just loads of batteries. We have advanced circuits. We have steel. The only other part is the... okay, so now we can create storage chests, which are... I don't really know the difference between storage chests and passive providers. Maybe storage chests can only be accessed in certain circumstances or something. Anyways, we have all that. Is there anything else we can do with regular research? I've also never done automated construction before. I don't know how that would work. But anyways, logistics, robot speed, there's cargo size, lab efficiency we could start on, not really interested. Automation, no. Logistics, advanced oil, bullet damage, not interested. Laser turret damage is worthwhile, but I think I'll save our science. Battery equipment would be good. Have never used night vision, combat robots. I don't think there's anything else that we need to worry about right now. Yeah, so productivity modules. This is an interesting upgrade. They will increase the number of items that are actually produced by a factory, but it dramatically increases energy requirements and decreases speed and increases pollution. So I think what we're going to do next is the logistics system, which is going to allow us to have the active requesters. So let's just start on that. You can see them all swarming to me there, giving me copper up to 200. I believe they'll go to whatever's closest, whatever route is the mathematically the best. So right now they're going to go to that chest instead. So yeah, I should have, I have all the copper I need. Now they're going to go and give me what? Inserters, yeah. Grab some of this out of there. Okay, do we have more of these? No, we're now missing circuits in the production chain, but we should have enough robots for now, probably. Let's worry about finishing this. The only thing we needed was gear cogs, which I guess is fine if we put it over here instead. Wrong way around. And cogs. Now we just need to feed plates into there. There we go. So this will now be automatic fast inserters. Actually, no, we need circuits as well for that. We need circuits for smarts. What are we missing here? Did we flip that? No, that's correct. That's correct, and that's correct. Why is this not producing? Oh, it needs plates itself, I see. So in that case, let's make another chest. Obviously, this is an extremely resource-intensive production chain. Just let them hit me with that, and I'll go and collect some more from here. What are we lacking? circuits down here. Well, this should be able to produce those fast enough. I guess what we'll do is set up another factory down here. Just circuit factory. I thought we could get by with one, but we need circuits for regular inserters for these and for smarts, so ultimately we're going to have to go with just the 2 layout. And there we go. Okay, so how to build this. Gonna have to move that. So we're gonna have to extend the grid slightly. And these should be able to pull from the same chest. No, they can't. It's impossible. And in fact, it's kind of inconvenient how that's set up, but nothing we can do about it. Do that. And split this into 2 different segments. Now we can move this into circuit production. This also needs, okay, so this is just going to be unfeasible to put it down here basically. This also needs iron, so that there. This is cables. Okay, how can we work that to our advantage then? We're kind of in a tough place with regards to that. Cables should be drawn out pretty fast. Might just need to move the labs. That would be unfortunate though. What if we move this one over by 1? And turned it into a fast inserter factory. Okay, no, this is smart inserters, that's right. Okay, so that's fine. Now, if we move this to right here, then we should be able to do this into a box that can be pulled from along with iron here. Alright, so it's definitely convoluted, but that is the best we've got for now. And turn this into circuits. And there we go. Now we have automated fast inserters. The only thing left is to bring these into a box and have the box give to... Where's that? Have the box give to the science production lab, which is going to require another one of these. Okay, so that is a very complex system requiring a lot of separate individual basic resource inputs. But I think comparatively the number of smart inserters required for a single blue science is lower than the number of regular inserters required for this, right? No, okay. Well, I can try. We want to do this here. Just throw it down right there. And we're just going to have to manually feed the labs with blue sciences for now. Give that there, give that there, and we want to go collect batteries as well. Let's give this some copper again, grab out some of the batteries. And we might use a long hand here to just pull from this and move that to right here. Still powers everything. Wrong way around, of course. Let's grab that long hand, flip it there. Okay, so this thing will grab advanced circuits from there whenever it needs them. Only thing left is to give it a source of batteries, which we can do with the chest. It's highly complicated, but now we've done it. So let's go ahead and give it some speed modules. Let us start shipping the blue sciences into another box. And the box will eventually will have to deal with automating the consumption of these things, but for now, let's just worry about actually making them. And let's give you some blue sciences. There we go. So we have our first research being done towards the completion of a blue science tech. And once we finish that tech, it's just going to become a lot easier for us to actually do blue science research because we can turn this system into an automated one. Technically speaking, we could have automated this with conveyor belts and inserters and stuff like that, but it would require an enormous amount of space, and it would be similarly complicated. You can see you can trace these deficiencies in the production chain just by going back to the initial one. You can see them going here to give me copper out of the copper chest. I'm just going to load myself up on these resources. Basics. And it's probably time that we expanded, really. But as I said, I think I'm going to end the video with us having successfully, not automated, but created blue science through a factory. And that's good. We finally have some research being done towards the logistics system. And in the next part, I'll come back to you whenever I have successfully finished, at the very least, the logistics system, and I'll show you guys kind of how we manage the automation of all this new stuff with the new chests and things. So for now,